Hi again, welcome to Greg's Whiskey Guide channel, one of the very few French channels to speak about whiskey in English and sometimes in French too. And yes, for the French audience, je vais faire un sujet aussi là-dessus, mais comme j'ai pas beaucoup de quantité de whisky à déguster, pour certains en tout cas, je ne peux pas faire deux fois le direct, enfin la vidéo, plus prendre des notes plus précises en testant hors caméra. Donc je vais essayer de voir ce que je peux faire pour quand même vous donner un contenu sympa sur les salons. So yeah, back to English. I'm gonna group two Whisky Shows reports because they are complementary one to the other. At this show, I tried quite different styles of whiskies and world whiskies, plus French whiskies, plus Scottish whiskies, and a few other spirits. But I tried way more Scottish whiskies there. It was the smallest show compared to this one, but two big shows yet. While at the Whisky Live Paris, I did focus more on French whiskey and other spirits and world whiskies, and alas, not enough Scottish whiskies. So I hope during the year that's coming, I mean not only 2022 but next year, to try more of the whiskies I missed at the show. So for this one I went only one day, and for this one I managed to go 2 days. But unfortunately, this has still a decent amount of stands you can do in one day, still selecting. You cannot do everything. But while this one, it was insane this year, extended to 10,000 square meters. And there was too much choice. I have to complain about that because it's very frustrating. I have five bottles, samples or bottles poured in my glasses to do tastings, but I will let them at the end. I will do a timing, don't worry about that, as usual. I'm giving you timestamps to jump on the sections you want and the whiskies you want to hear about. This is a fifth take, fortunately before tastings, of the presentation, because I thought I could rely on some of my notes that I already posted on Instagram, which are more easy to read for me than the ones from my little report book. But unfortunately, when I go to the internet and switch back to the I don't know why, to the camera, sometimes it cuts the recording. So that's what's happened. So I'm afraid I might not be super precise on all things, but for some of the whiskies I really loved, I'm gonna try to get me a bottle. I don't know when, how. Sometimes they're not imported yet or not easily, so we'll see. But yet, let's start with the first show, Club-Expert Dugas. Initially, it's a concurrent, a bit smaller, from La Maison de Whisky. They have a lot of brands, but less than La Maison de Whisky, for those who don't know them. Initially, it was not, a few years ago, a show open to the public, but when they understood, also a few years ago, those two shows I'm getting there to visit since 15 years maybe. Yeah, quite an experience. These are all the brands that you were finding in the first show. We're going to start with this one. You also have, of course, a lot of rums, gins, sweet wines, etc. Also French other spirits, and you have French and other countries' whiskies. I couldn't go to all the stands, but I visited, let's say, a half of them, and I'm gonna try to give you some feedback. Right, I don't know if I have something to handle it. Maybe this, let me try something new. It's not this, it's this. Does it work? Not really. Maybe like this. Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, voila. There you go. So first stand, and for me, a first discovery was Philae Bay. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. Philae Bay is the name of a single malt made in England by people who are doing something very crafty, in the crafty way. I'm not going to be too long on each distillery, mind you, because I have a lot of things to say. Just know that it's an English single malt distillery that was born in 2016. I met David Thompson, who really made me a big welcome. This is a distillery. This is also a brewery, and they have a 100,000 liters of alcohol per annum production. So quite a small distillery, not the smallest, but it's not Forest, for instance. I heard of them. It's not this. I think it's still less than Cotswolds. We're going to speak about Cotswolds later on. From them I tried 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you hear some French. 7 expressions I tried from them. I was enchanted because it's a delicate yet still young, but delicate and super balanced spirits. So I don't know who distills and who blends there, but the person does a beautiful job. So I tried the flagship. This is the name of the this one, by the way, of the whiskey, which is 100% bourbon, despite the color that seems darker here than in reality. Very nice, a bit floral, vegetal, malted barley driven, very well made. Oh yeah, this uses Solera, yes, that's why. So they had older spirits. It's 5 years old plus, mixed with 4, if I understood well. So they take what was of the first releases, they keep in the vat, and then they add others. So you might have, the more you will go, you will have a wider array of ages, which is interesting. Did I say it? It's farm to glass, and it's non-chill filtered, non-colored, 46% usually, so quite ticking some boxes. Then I tried an IPA made with Scarborough Fair Walltop Brewery beer, 9 months finished, quite nice. The hop brings something extra, something greener, but still super balanced. The STR casks, 12 months finish, was also great. It was batch 3. This brings some nice acidulous fruity notes. It's not too far from the Cotswolds we're gonna talk about after. I tried also muscatel finish. That was more spicy than I expected, but nicely fruity also. What else? What is this? French cavist exclusive. It was for French market retailers only. Bourbon cask, 51% ABV. 5 years old, quite nice. Maybe a tad too gingery spicy for me, but with a few drops it was getting interesting. I also like the petite finish, 8 months in Kilchoman casks, quite nice. Moderate peat, a bit ashy, and then with some roasted coffee notes, beautiful notes. The highlight at the stand was behind the counter, and of course it's going to be one difficult to get because it's a distillery exclusive 2022. It's called a Yorkshire Day, and for this one, 1,500 bottles, 55% ABV, almost 7 years old, and it's a mix of Oloroso, sherry, muscatel and bourbon cask, and it's a sherry monster, beautifully fruity, powerful, balanced. I really loved it. So this is for the first stand. Then we're gonna go to Lochley. You see if I can, not sure I can showcase the 2 pages if they stay. Oh no, okay, maybe so I can show this. Okay, sounds better. So it's this time it's a lowland Scottish distillery in Ayrshire. This is also a young 2018 distillery. I tried the two expressions they have currently, the Harvest Edition and the Hour Barley that you see here. 46% non-chill filtered, non-colored, same ticking boxes as the previous one. The Harvest Edition is a port cask, ruby port cask, and bourbon and a bit of sherry mix. It's about over 4 years old. Nicely fruity, well done. Maybe a tad too. How can I say that? Because the two whiskies were lovely. But maybe I will suggest they maybe should let the bourbon cask talk more to showcase the distillery house style, and maybe later on they're gonna get more time to experiment. I don't know. It was not disjointed, it was very good, but a bit too sweet maybe for me. And the Hour Barley I preferred. Despite again it's a mix of cask, STR, bourbon and sherry, but it's a younger one, 3.5 years, but I wrote it brought some nice oaky notes and some nice fruity notes, light sherry style, very melted, very well done. This is a great, don't get me wrong, this is a great work of blending. So yeah, quite enjoyed this distillery as well. First time for me trying them. So kind of countryside again, farm to glass distillery, very nice. Yeah, there's some things I have some visuals. I'm gonna try to find some because I got this interesting little catalog. So I hope they showcase it, and if not, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna show you this. This is Whiskey Magazine, the French release, and this is, as you can see, devoted partly to the French show. I'm gonna speak after that. Oh yeah, there's a nice picture of something I'm gonna try. Again, apologies because I wanted to insert pics and it was too complicated. I don't do editing. I'm not watched by a lot of people because of that, but I'm also watched by others because of the speaking content and the tasting content, I guess, I hope. Bear with me, I'm gonna probably find it. I saw it somewhere, so I really hope I have it here. Otherwise I'll have to apologize, which I'm afraid I'm gonna do now. Haven't had a lot of time to dig into this magazine, I have to say. Yeah, I missed the page. Never mind, I'm sorry. So Hautefeuille Distillery, it's a French one. I'm gonna try again here, but they don't have a big budget to do ads, so it's a small French distillery from north of France. Pas de Calais, it's the name of the region in France. No, they don't want to showcase it, it's a shame. Anyway, you will find a pic. I did a full report about this first show on Instagram. For those who have Instagram, it's not going to be a big novelty, the first part. I'm currently posting things about Whisky Live Paris, and those are there will be way more posts than for the other show, because there are more stands and I had 2 days there instead of one. Sorry, so Hautefeuille is a young distillery from 2015, first distilling 2018 release. They are switching from sourcing barley elsewhere to sourcing barley to their own farms around. So during parcellaire, it's very trendy in French. Some specific parts of the barley fields, specific barley fields, you know, like Kilchoman and Waterford does. So to get a really genuine and specific profile, and they will do several releases with each parcel to showcase each barley style. So Parcelle Hangar Moisson 2017 I tried. So quite malted barley and a bit green driven, very quite nice. 43.3, it's a weird ABV they've chosen to please connoisseurs as well as newcomers, and also remember the ABVs also goes with taxes. The higher the ABV, higher taxes. I also tried Esquisse numéro 12 and Esquisse numéro 11, slightly peated. Again, head over to my Instagram. I can't be too long, but I recommend this new brand. They also do some gin, nice one. They do also for cavist retailers here 2 limited releases, 50 CL instead of 70. There was a nice PX finish and a nice Amontillado finish. Then I went to a distillery I wanted also to try for a long time, but I stayed a bit away from it. But as I said, I evolved about wine finishes and using STR, etc. So I was really glad to try some Isle of Raasay. I tried 3 expressions from them. I tried the R01. I also tried a gin, a nice gin. The R01, I don't know if you have it. They use a very iconic bottle, showcasing things from very old things from, and I forgot my English name. Again, I'm sorry. That they, you know, everything that's on the seashore. The shells, the very old stuff, and they try to replicate this. I don't know if you see it well. So it's engraved and it has some nice relief in French. They explain all the barley casks they use. There's a very nice leaflet because they use 3 cask type with different. It's a bit complicated for newcomers, I have to say. They explain they use chinkapin oak, ex-red wine Bordeaux oak, ex-rye oak. But then, 6 recipes because there are 3 that are unpeated and 3 that are peated. So they mix the 2. So it comes across, I don't know the ppm there, at moderate 6 to 8 they told me, but it comes across a bit more. So the R01 is a spring release and the R02 is the autumn release. So they use those cask types, heavily charred some, and then 46.1 or something like that. And yeah, this is quite a beautiful location. Look at that. So it's Hebridean. They're trying, by the way, to too many things to say, to maybe find a new official name for all the distilleries that are on the Hebridean parts of Scotland instead of Highlands. So it's something they're currently working on, and maybe you will see some change about that. So I really loved the 3 I tried. You can feel the wine, etc., right? Bring some red fruit elements, they're here for that. You can still feel some bourbon cask. Also, the Sherry Monster was an advanced sample of a release, upcoming release, mixing peaks, cask rye, and I don't remember what was the other. Quarter cask, 52% ABV. That was stunning. Unfortunately, I'm afraid it's going to be very hard to get here. I tried other spirits, but I will, except for one exception, maybe we'll see. I will let this for people to check out my Instagram. biggest enjoyment for this show, sorry, and I'm gonna switch to Whisky Live after that, was of course, put that down, that was of course, and it's not a surprise, Springbank stand, Kid and Head stand, and of course Kilkerran, Hazelburn, Longrow, the three brands, Hazelburn, Longrow and Springbank, plus something else, which are G&A Mitchell brands, and then of course they also run Glengyle, who does Kilkerran, but it's not the same distillery. And like I said, well, we'll see that later on. Springbank, wise, what did I try? I tried, this is not the same bottle, but it's the same look. I tried this year's edition of the 10 years old, which is 70% bourbon and 30% sherry. This is wonderful. This is so beautifully crafted. This one I think has another recipe, but I will review it when I will open it. It's a 2020, by the way, November batch. I have others 10 years old open, so I might do a rundown of different 10. But well, this gets difficult to get the hands on it. I might wait and not open it right away because they're getting rare. They had a decrease of production, so that's why I understand they couldn't match the demand, which is super high. And now they're making more whiskey, but the time they get to the old stocks, it's going to be a bit difficult to find, and there's also some hype, of course. But before that, I tried a Campbelltown Loch blended malt at 40% ABV. The Campbelltown Loch blended malt is a switch a few years ago, don't remember when, from the Campbelltown Loch blended whiskey, which had grain in it, which I like a lot. I still have a bit of it. I never reviewed it on video, but I mentioned it on my website several times. Lovely, beautiful whiskey. Now the recipe has changed, obviously no grain, and there's Glen Scotia and Springbank, and might be a bit of Kilkerran and Longrow. Yeah, Glen Scotia, what do they say? Kilkerran and Springbank, it should be only this. So beautiful. This is wonderful as well. The 18, I tried the Springbank 18, which I don't have here, and it's a mix of 50% equal mix of bourbon and sherry. Sorry, but this was a 2021 release, but very good, very balanced, beautiful. Anyway, I loved everything I tried there. I didn't try every single bottle. There was a lot. You can see that on my Instagram. But for instance, the 12 cask strength was 100% bourbon, 55.9. It was a 2021, mind you. They didn't have the latest one, but I loved it. This is very close to the old style of the 1000 proof, so I really enjoyed it. Hazelburn 15, Oloroso matured, I liked it a lot as well. 21 years old Hazelburn was beautiful. 70% sherry, 30% bourbon. 2022 that time, same from the Hazelburn. I had to choose because there were too many people. The Springbank stand was under assault, like I wrote, all day long. So it was hard to get your seat in there. So I couldn't try the Sherry Kilkerran 2022, but I tried a batch 6, 8 years old of the Port cask, and 57.9, and I loved it. This is beautiful. This is not your usual Kilkerran, so I heard some complaint from some people who prefer the Oloroso sherry. I cannot compare because I didn't try the new one, but I loved that one, which is a bit unusual. And we're gonna try this, which is poured for half an hour now. We're gonna try this from Cadenhead because it's the only one I had the time to. They were closing, so they were not allowed to pour me anything. So to apologize about that, because I understood I was a big Cadenhead and Springbank fanboy. They said maybe you can have this and taste it later on. So it will be a special tasting because I haven't tried it before. I just opened it for you, for me of course, but to share it with you. It's a 2022. Yeah, like maybe no, it was in the like this one, which I should review because it's gorgeous. But now this comes across with the ugly, very clear and almost unreadable label. Same thing but other colors, but it's a small batch range. It's the same as this bottle. I heard, I'm not sure about that, it was a Firkin sherry cask. They said Firkin sherry, but if I heard well, which is contradictory, which will suggest a smaller cask than even than the quarter cask. I mean the quarter cask in the exception of Lafroig, so 100 liters, so might be 60. I don't have the number now. Sorry, only 117 bottles, 2022. So this we will try very quickly. Moving on now to the Whisky Live Paris, which was completely, honestly, insane show. Let me tell you. To give you an idea, I mean it's impossible. If I show you this, you might understand, and even it's not easy. Just for the ground floor, you had around maybe 70 or 100 stands, maybe 70, 80 devoted to whiskey, and on each stand there were several bottles. For those who could afford it, I couldn't, so I'm gonna frustrate a lot of people, but I don't care. It's my choice not to put 120 euros or more for 2 days. It's a double to have access to what they say the VIP level, to more high-end stuff, etc. Some years I could go. This year I couldn't have enough money to do that, and I prefer to put the rest in a bottle, which I did. And also the choice is too overwhelming for I mean to expect to try even 10% of 1% of the choice. So this is insane. I will really suggest Thierry Benita. Of course, I know it has a cost to do things differently, but they won't do it, of course. That means 2 days for whiskey and 2 days for other spirits, and on those 2 days you won't be able to visit the other stand. So it's two complete different shows because it's too frustrating. Right, I tried to do a mix again of different stands. I didn't go to any masterclass because masterclass means half an hour or more of not being able to taste something else. But I know there's many masterclasses there were most probably, because I followed some in the past, worth getting to. Lots of talks means lots of water. Again, some nice meetings there. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I started by. They don't have anything here. I've posted. There are some things already posted there. So I hope there's some visuals of this, but I'm not sure. Once again. So yeah, I tried French distilleries first, and I tried some new one. It's not a new one, in fact, but it's yeah, you have everything on my Instagram anyway. So and this is Chateau du Breuil, which usually are making, and they're still making, Calvados. but now they switched to let me see if I can. They not switched, they also integrated whiskey production, and I'm not lucky, I don't see any there. Anyway, you will see visuals. Please head over to my Instagram and you will see visuals of it. So lovely new single malt they do. It's 3-4 years old. 3 years old. I tried blended malt they do with another distillery they have, which is and I forgot the name of the distillery, but the name of the whiskey is Erios. It's a very particular bottle, by the way. And yeah, Le Breuil, so they do Erios and Le Breuil both as a blended malt. They do a classic one and they do a peated one. Both were nice, light whiskies but well made. And then I tried single malt sherry and single malt origin, which is bourbon, and the peated. They were all interesting, all nice, all quite on the light side, still young, still need more age, more maturation, and maybe more oomph. I don't know, it's not a question of ABV, but I enjoyed them. Yeah, they're making whiskey since 2015 and Calvados in 1954. The Erios were nice as well, not gonna be long. Then the big deal was for me, and I'm not sure I have documentation, but I'm almost sure there is some pictures there. And anyway, if there isn't, bear with me. That's why I brought the bottles there. It's not the latest bottle, it's not the same bottles, I apologize, but at least it's the same distillery, which is called now Celtic Whiskey Distillery. So there's a previous packaging, and now they have suppressed the mention of bourbon barrel or rock ear or other mentions for the core range, just identifying for people to identify it's Glenarmor unpeated or Cornog peated. I already talked about this Brittany brand, my favorite distillery so far, still my favorite one. We tried, again, there are pictures on my Instagram. We tried the Kavalan, which is a blend, they say Celtic blend, but in fact, yes, it's Celtic, but it's a wort blend with a little of Cornog and some undisclosed Irish and Scottish whiskey. It's a 40%er, so new introductory product to the brand. It's nice. It's like I wrote, no less, no more than what you can expect from something like that, at 30 or 20, yeah, 30 euros. Nice introduction to Celtic whiskey, more than to French whiskey, to be honest, but it's nice. I met the new master distiller and also warehouse keeper. Very interesting. I really enjoyed, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna review those separately. I really enjoyed the cognac cask double matured at 52%. And also the Cornog Sun Ivy, which is a cask strength peated. But I really want to take time to review them separately. Also, what I did try, yeah, the Sun Ivy is a 58.8 cask strength release, while the limited edition, it's ex-bourbon, the cognac cask double maturation. The thing you have to know about this, these new releases is that little by little they are trying to switch to, I don't remember, I'm sorry, the previous barley type name, to now switch it to Maris Otter barley, which is very interesting, which I like. I already have an expression from them with this barley, and also Glenmorangie to sale from the private edition old release, and they're working quite well. They're very nice, grainy, cereally, but on the positive side of things. So great stuff. I'm sorry to it's the fifth take, but before the tasting, So it's a bit overwhelming. We're gonna go now, and I have nothing to show you because the packaging really changed. I don't want to show you old packaging for these, but I have a nice picture, and it's cool because I have also a nice picture of the sample I'm gonna try of another whiskey. Like I said, it's not because I get samples that I will be biased. In my opinion, it's a practice the most known reviewers do for decades. It's just that young YouTubers don't know about that, or even some more experience don't want to be rude about that, and some integrity talk. I already did a special review about ethics in reviewing, but honestly guys, they do that for decades and they are not impressed. They say exactly what the most serious one, exactly what they want. So I don't see an issue there, because otherwise you cannot try everything that's out, and also many of their reviews won't be existing because they get samples anyway. So I couldn't get a sample of this, but to put a long story short, it was a 15 years old, released from Cognac Armagnac, single malt brand. First time they release a 15 years old, and I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna probably do two parts for this video, because it's not gonna be I'm not gonna make it for one video. I think I should do that. Right, okay, it's a decision I'm taking now, because I see it's going really okay. So then I tried two expressions from them, which are I retried the 10 years old, but it's nice, but and the classic, but let's see my Instagram about those, or ask me the question, I answer more. I tried the Yun LS, which is a peated expression that they released a few years ago, Jobic, and also the limited edition Pinot cask, which they said to me it was a finish, but on internet they say it's a full maturation, which is weird. So nice, again, nice whiskies. I think, is this a 40%er? I have it, no, 58.7 from the Yun LS. Let me see if I can find a picture, because packaging is completely different than the Armoric usually. I'm not sure we're gonna see that. Maybe in this, but even with this I'm not sure. In the novelties, beautiful. They give this when you buy by the way, they give a beautiful catalog, which is a bit luxury and very hard to show, but they also give you the latest magazine, which obviously I cannot find what I'm looking for. It's life, c'est la vie. Okay, then we're gonna move to the one of the highlight of the if not the highlight emotionally of the show, which is this. I'm gonna try with you, which I managed to get a sample. Once again, very lucky for this. This is the oldest ever French whiskey released in French history. Bear in mind that French whiskey only started to be released in 1983 by the Cognac Armagnac for you distillery, and it was a blend first, and then their single malt. But Edu, which means buckwheat, whiskey made in buckwheat, again in Brittany. They have an old cask in a warehouse that the father of Loïc Lagg, which runs the distillery, has stored there for the future as a kind of family investment. And they recently discovered this cask, and it was so beautiful. Alas, it was the only one like that. So beautiful that before it gets too low in ABV, they decided, with the angel share, they decided to bottle it, and it made around 304 bottles, I think. 43% ABV. I'm not sure if it's the exact cask ABV or a little rounded, but look at this gorgeous decanter, and this is what we're gonna try today. What else? I tried also the Diamant, which is also high-end stuff from them, 2022. I found it better than the one I tried before. Also, we went to I don't know, because I say we because I was alone. I went to Distillery Castan, Villanova. Might have some visual about that. Again, I'm gonna post, if not made already, on Instagram a lot of things. I think I saw it somewhere. And the whiskey is called Villanova. And this was an exclusive La Maison du Whisky, so it will be probably there. Again, apologies because I don't do editing, as you know. Some hate it, some don't care about it. I saw it somewhere. I know it sounds unprepared each time, but if you edit, you also have to credit. Yeah, there you go. You have it. I'm sorry, there it's a bit small. Villanova, so in the middle. Yeah, I missed the Ninkasi, the other French stand I wanted to do, but you can see also the Artesia up Black is Black, which I also tried from another distillery. Yeah, Villanova, I tried the Bourbon and Chardonnay cask called Ghost. Nice one, light, balanced, etc. I also tried the Villanova 2018 Pachrink and a bit peated, high strength for La Maison Whisky. Very nice. I really enjoyed that one. Then I went to, I think, this is weird because, yeah, they're not in order. There's a new French guy that's importing, Sébastien Juel. He's importing whiskies from Canada, mainly. And you have any picture there? Yeah. Pictures are a bit small again, I apologize. Two brewers from the Yukon, which is also a brewery. There you can see their stills. I tried their whiskies a while ago and I was not super impressed, but yet I find it was okay. But now they were 3 years old. Now they're 7, 8 years old, something like that. And some casks are batches are including 13 years old. So I was very impressed of the 3 I tried, the number 31, number 32. And number 30, 31 was classic release bourbon, and it was really with, of course, yeah, always brewery yeast instead of distillery yeast, so more yeasty character, also some more esters. Really enjoyed the balance, the depth, the complexity, and the showcasing of malted barley there. Then I tried the innovative, which was using chocolate malt, a bit more roasted malt that some distillery use. The one I worked with, the French Northman, but also, of course, most famous example is Glenmorangie with the Signet. Right, 43% for some and 46% for the others. The peated, using Aberdeen peat. 12 ppm, 10 to 12, I think. It's very, yeah, it told me very short time in those casks. Remained something balanced and very moderately peated. I also liked it. Let's see the order on my book. Yeah, and then this was a series of 2 stands in a row that were fantastic, honestly. And then I went to this, which I heard a lot and didn't have any occasion to try before. And my word, it was stunning. Every expression was awesome. I tried the bourbon, which is called American Prairie Rye, Prairie Bourbon, sorry. They were all 46%. And then I tried a double rye, then you can see there, and then the Rendezvous Rye, and we finished with a smoky one, Campfire. Honestly, I'm not going to be long on those because I really need to get me one or two of those. This is fantastic stuff. They're very transparent. They are partly sourcing from MGP and partly from their own distillate, which is younger. It's a distillery from 2006, if I understood well, despite that. Really, really fantastic work they do. This is sweet, this is subtle, but it has some character. Half of this is, of course, rye forward, and it's a treat. I really loved them. It was mind-blowing, honestly. They're all not cheap. Some are 100 euros here, so it's gonna be a bit hard. What did I note else? Yeah, Amrut. I don't have pictures to show you, but I met my pal Dennis from Amrut Fever account on Instagram, and he kindly, on top of what I tried, offered me those that I'm gonna review separately when I will do special Amrut in English, because I speak often of Amrut, but I did a rundown where he was in French. So next time I'm gonna incorporate those two in my Amrut review. These are rare stuff from 2020. There's an Isla cask finish from Blackadder, and a port pipe official, but for Sweden, and there's a wink to him. He has also special casks and bottlings. Long story. So thank you, Dennis, for those. He's helping out. He's not hired by Amrut exactly, but he's helping out, and he's one of the biggest collector of Amrut in the world. What else? On that stand I tried the French exclusives that are somewhere here, but to be honest, I preferred one that I haven't tried before, which is called the Triparva, which is a triple distilled version, and I really find that very interesting. It's a 50% ABV. My only complaint is 139 euros here, so too much, in my opinion. Too much money. But then I went to Dingle, where I found my good friend Graham Cool and his wife Faye. So it was a real pleasure. They're really awesome people. I tried a triple distilled bourbon and sherry, which was the regular one, I think, with the green label. Core range, 46.3, very nice, nicely made, very balanced. The pot still, 5th release, that was very interesting, very balanced. I heard praise about it, and they deserve it. And I tried one called Samin, which is a Moscatel finish at higher strength, and that was nice as well. But the two advanced samples, if I may say, one is unreleased, and the other I was not sure. They came out with neutral bottles. There was a cognac finish for I don't know what this means. Oh he told me it was vallein-tercinier cognac, which I was very pleased to hear, because I love what they do and visited them at the same show. So I might not speak too much about other spirits in this video because it's very long. I tried a single cask peated, which was at 2.5 years only in virgin oak and bourbon, and this is art, and I hope this will be released. Then there's so many things to say. Then I went to Cotswolds. I reviewed this, let's put that here. I reviewed this in French, but not in English yet, so I'm going to do a review soon. So at Cotswolds, I tried the expressions I haven't tried for a while, or that didn't exist when I first tried them. So the Reserve, again 5 years old, 20% STR, 80% bourbon, so it's a bit of contrary of this one, and 50%, yeah, that was very nice. The Founder's Choice, STR only, 59.1. Very surprised how balanced it still is. It's this one on steroids. The Sherry Cask, PX and Oloroso, and a bit of Hogshead was very nice too. I like the Pitted, which uses Lefroy quarter cask, and there was one called Golden Wood, and it's painted by a local artist. It's a small batch coming out at 52.5, a bit expensive but nice. But what I preferred at the end was the Cuvée Caviste for France, which I hope to be using a virgin oak. Paradoxally, I don't like usually virgin oak, but Daniel did a good job there, which I was pleased to meet again. Then you have Kingsbourne's with the, where it is, I have only, I'm not sure I have reviewed it fully, but I tried the sherry one, which I liked a lot. Very balanced, gourmet, nice red fruit notes. I tried also a limited edition cask strength, which was nice as well, bourbon and STR. The Croftanga Hogshead from the Wimps malts, because it's also an indie bottler who owns the Kingsbourne Lowland Distillery. And I tried also Nikka. Nikka, I did try some earlier on. I posted on Instagram some impressions. I tried the gins mixed with new make, which is interesting. The single malt batch 16, very well balanced, again nothing overpowering. It's a beautiful new single malt showcasing some special barley as well. I tried a Quiet Tribbles number 2 with Pinot de Charente and American Oak, and the organic using rum yeast. Very interesting, very rounded, again lots of fruits. Sorry, I can it's insane. Then I went to let me change again. Yeah, so quite overwhelming show, so that's naturally very long to watch as well and to explain. I tried a new 18 Fetacairn. Well, the packaging is almost the same, so I tried the new 16 third release as well. I'm gonna let this so you know I'm speaking about them. Yeah, what was interesting in Warehouse 2 Batch 4 is the use of Hungarian oak for ex-bourbon and 48.78, something like that. I found this was an interesting choice. But what impressed me the most, not necessarily mind-blowing whiskey, but something not emotional but interesting, because it's a mix of American oak and Scottish oak, which is rare, the 18 years old. Very nice, 46.8, beautiful ABV. It's a Greg Glass work. Greg Glass is a master blender, and he's someone who was working, now it's working for White and Mackay brands, but before he was working with Compass Box. So that's where I met him. Day 2 of Whisky Live Paris. Can you even figure out this? It's insane. And I still have a few things there to show. So we're going in for an hour. So I'm going to do effectively two videos. So this one was devoted more for other spirits. So I apologize, but considering the timing, I'm going to just drop a few words saying I tried 1, 2, 3, 4 expressions from Cognac Ferrand, Alexandre Gabriel, who also makes the Citadel Gin and the Plantation rums. I really enjoyed what I tried there. What I preferred was the XO on Champagne, the 1984 Advance sample, beautiful, straight from the cask stuff, and the Sélection des Anges. All these are on my Instagram already. I went to Camus then and tried the XO that I never tried before and really loved it, as well as the Borderies Family XO Reserve. I was puzzled, amazed, dazzled, I don't know, because those were 40%ers, the two Camus, and despite that they were awesome. Then I went to Cognac again, vallein-tercinier, which I visited, and I tried the new Roots XO, which is a rounder expression, kind of rounder style than the VT XO small batch that I have and talked about. Then I went to try 3. They have more, but I had to be selective. I tried only 3 vintages, but my word, very beautiful ones: 1988, 1972, 1966. Yum, yum, yum. That's all I can say. Then I went to Delors, which was a brand I was amazed by, a bottle I tried at Cocktail Spirit Show. So amazed that I'm gonna try it with you on the second video, and also I'm gonna show you that I bought it. It's the only purchase I did recently because I didn't have a lot of money, but this is a great value in my opinion. Then I went to L'Encantada, which is another brand of Armagnac. So I tried 1, 2, 3, 4 expressions, and they were all nice, all interesting. The 32 years old for La Maison du Whisky with a beautiful packaging was maybe not really for me, a bit more oaky and spicy, but yet nice one. French distilleries wise, I went to TOS for the other side distillery, and I tried 3 expressions, 1 sherry, 1 port, and the one I liked the most was the number 3 char, which must be there, I think. I saw it, and if not, again, nice things I didn't have time to try, as I see, and you don't see, so this is not serious. I saw it. Oh God, yeah, I showed you already, I'm sorry. It's the one in the middle, the black is black. So new distillery from 2017 in France, in north of France, and the Fût Noir black cask. Char number 3 is one for La Maison du Whisky, 46%. It's like, as I heard, it can be the Jameson Black Barrel, the Richard thing. So it brings a lot of nice spices and oak, and not overpowering, and some coffee notes maybe. Liked it. Then I went to Penderyn and I tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expressions. I tried the headliner, the Impossible to Tell Yimaorid, something like that. Sorry, apologies to my Welsh friends. The one called Welsh Whiskies, the Hierat, which was nice as well. But I preferred from all these the small batch for France. Good idea. 50% ABV, mixing again a lot of casks. We're closing to the end of this first part. What can I say? The bottle is a bit remote, and I don't have new bottles from them. So Michter's, I'm gonna publish things on Instagram very soon. What can I say? They had to tribute to the history of the distillery bottlings. One called Schenks, the other called Bomberger. It was the initial names back in 1753 or so, when the distillery was in Pennsylvania, or when they switched to Kentucky. I'm not sure about that 100%. But anyway, they were the initial names of the Michter's distillery, obviously under other owners, but it was they tried to recreate something special and they succeed. This was gorgeous. Also, I was poured blind because they knew they were expected me to come, and I met Matt, the Sounds founder, a few years ago, and they poured me blind something, and you have to guess what it is. I recognized the style of the sour mash, and then I said there's something extra, maybe a different oak something, and he said, well done, it's the toasted barrel sour mash, and I never tried any toasted barrel mixtures before, so I was happy about that. Very nicely worked whiskey. Then I went to a new distillery for me, which I never tried before. And it was funny because after that I went to Westland. And this is half the same here because we're talking about Westward. And we're going to try that in a sec. Because I got a sample of one of the expressions I tried from them to try with you. We're also gonna try this in the second video because I did a review in French but not in English. It's the bourbon casks, and I have the bottle for some time now, and it will be a pity not to try it. Last but not least, I went also to Westland. Yeah, I tried a Garian, a new release that I found very nice, less oaky and spicy than before. And I tried also the Colère. Those two are crazily priced, 170. Come on. I was happy to meet Matt Hoffman though once more. The Colère 2022 is a refill bourbon and something else I cannot read, I'm sorry, 50%. Very nice. Oh, this is oak driven but gentle oak, still balanced. Quite interesting, well done. Spoiler, the new releases of the Petite Corange and special releases for what's this fly or a mosquito or whatever. Spoiler news alert, the 2023 release will most probably now start to incorporate local peat from Seattle, from ex-military camp peat bogs. Yeah, how about that? Make it more local? Yes, they do that. Then I went to Whistle Pig, try partly sourced from Alberta Premium Distillery in Canada. Whistle Pig is US, Vermont, so well. But they're mixing the two now, a bit like High West, and it gives some beautiful results. Not sure I tried the 12 years old, which is a mix of cask, which is very interesting, but I'll try a 15 years old called Estate Oak Rye. Beautiful one too, but not sure what is sourced and what is not. Oops, this will come after. Then I went to Nikka to try the new expressions, special release of the Yochi and Miyagi-Kyo, the distillery yeast, around 10 years old both. 48% for the Yochi, 47% for the Miyagi-Kyo. Nice whiskies. I prefer the fruitiness of the Miyagi-Kyo to Yochi, while I'm a big Yochi fan. But what pisses me off, sorry to be is the price of those. 245 euros in France. It's too much, way too much. I could understand, and even it will be too much for me. 145 or 115 I think will be more serious. But come on, 245, no. I won't buy them. I won't talk about them too much. I'm getting to the end. Be reassured. Kavalan, I didn't have the time to try the special releases. It was getting to the end, so it was. But I wanted absolutely to try an expression I could afford. So I tried a triple sherry cask, and I loved it, despite the 40% ABV. Then I went to try something really special, and I saw it there, so I know it's printed there, with a very special half not beautiful, half interesting, let's say, packaging. But the liquid in there was very good. For a 3 years old, I found this amazing. Where is it? Come on now. Come on now. Don't let me down, please. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was too late to get the opportunity to try it. I apologize to... yeah, the Glen Scotia, the rum cask, double cask rum, and I couldn't try it. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, same compass box. Hamden, yes, I wanted to go. Hamden and St. James have some amazing novelties apparently. This is not serious reviewing, honestly. If I have to each time double check where it is. Oh man, the way those things are made, they are mixing novelties with things, make it a bit difficult to find. I'm gonna try in this. I saw it, so it's gonna be there. Yeah, so quite an overwhelming show with too many things to try and almost impossible to follow. Yeah, there it is. I'm sorry. Between the two whiskies, you have the new Lagg, the petite expression from, and you have also the Gariana here, so it's nice. Gariana is there. So the Lagg, look at this weird packaging. Inaugural release batch 1, very nice. It's only 3 or 4 years old. What did they say? 3 years old. It's very good. It's Firkin sherry cask, partly. Okay, I didn't remember that. 50 liters. Wow. Then I went to Veribros and I tried the sherry blended malt Speyside, which was very nice, and the Blair Athol 2011 cask strength. Bit winey, not my fav, but I tried the Contrast Organic 2021, which was nice. Vintage 2012 also was nice, peated. I tried for the first time of my life, but it was in bad conditions at right to the end of the show, so it came across as very rounded, very nice, but I'm sure it has more character than that. Mortlach 16 official. Then a nice surprise, the Glenallachie 8 years old, mixing a lot of different casks, including virgin oak. The 10 years old cask strength, batch 7, nice, but nothing really stunning for me. And my favorite of the stand was not a single malt, but a blended scotch. And it was this, the White Heather, 15 years old. It's a new range they do. They have the 15, oh, the lighting is ugly, yeah. They have the 15 and they have the 21 years old. And what is nice with this kind sheet is that explain the recipe completely. So you can see that. I'll let it a few seconds. Very interesting with some Glenallachie there. I liked it a lot. This is really one that has to be on my wish list, honestly. So really enjoyed it. Okay guys, so it's gonna be hard for me because I'm gonna do the second video now. Well, it's quite an advanced time and I haven't lunched yet, but I had a solid breakfast. Please, if you're interested in the tastings, go to see part 2. I'm gonna release them separately in the several days, hopefully within the weekend. And if you have questions about what I tried, or maybe about my opinions about my tasting on the second video, just let me know. Voilà. Thank you very much for watching, and please head over to the second video to see the second part. Thank you.